Distinguished adventurers, welcome to a new show. That's right, it's a new show, it's a new day, it's a new time. I'm still Lauren, still here having fun with this game, and welcome to Weekly Patronage. Because every Monday, just about this time, noon Pacific, all of the patron challenges roll over, and we start new challenges. And so I thought this would be a good time to hang out, chat with everybody, and also get working on the challenges, because usually about this time is when I look through all of the challenges and start getting all of my formations set up, so why don't we do it together? So that's what this stream is all about. We're going to hang out, we're going to get some of the tasks that Mert and Vajra and Strahd and Zariel have for us, and see what we have coming up for the week. How's everybody doing out in Chatland? How's everybody doing on the stream? How are our moderators? We have two of them. We have Martin, who is doing the lovely producing today, and then we also have Ryan, who is hanging out with us. I have a little bit of tea, because if we're gonna have a Ryan, why not have a little bit of tea as well? So hi everybody. Oh, busy. Love the thanks. We have some wonderful graphic designers on the team who help with all of our stream layout and the all of the fun graphics, because I do talking and music, but as the sketching hour probably shows, I don't do art. Do not do art. Babylon Rager just woke up. Well, good morning. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. Let's get some patron challenges done. We got Warriors of Waterdeep. We got TTRPG gifts. We got a lot of people in chat. Why, hello. And welcome to this relaxed little stream we got going on here. For me, this is lunchtime. I will not be eating on stream because that's just asking for trouble. But, let's spend our lunch getting some challenges done. So I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch of things set up. If anyone does have any questions or comments they want to pass along, our amazing moderator, Martin, is going to be grabbing them and putting them in a little document here on the side, so don't worry about them getting lost in the chat. I'll also be trying to keep an eye on the chat, and we'll get started. So these just dropped. I'm going to be looking at them for the first time. I'm actually finishing up a Vajra event here, just doing some cleanup on some Vajra stuff that I haven't done. For a lot of people, they try to blitz through a lot of these challenges really quick, try to get a lot of these patron events done as quickly as possible. I try to get them done, but I'm also one of those players who sets things up and then lets things run in the background while I do other things, and so I might be a little slower than some of our, say, faster colleagues. I know there are some people, Garwar, who are way faster at this than I am. But if you're looking for some suggestions on how to get through this at a more casual pace, hanging out, that's what I'm here for. So the first thing we're going to do is actually look at what the challenges are while we're finishing up this event, because I have 3 parties all ready to go, all ready for challenges. So let's see what we got. To give you the rundown of where I am, this is my personal account. This is the account that I've had since the game came out. I've been on Steam for a while. This is actually one of the games that got me on Steam. I'm mostly a console gamer until Idle Champions, and then here I am. So let's see what we got. Oh, Babble G, I usually do my chores in less than 4 hours. Speed pots are my friends. Yeah, speed pots and actually just being active. You can get through them really fast if you kind of know what you're doing. I'm a little slower, but hey, in 2 hours, let's see what we can do. So to give you an idea of where I am starting at, for Mert, I actually have all of the perks, but Vajra, Strahd, and Zariel, I'm still working on some stuff, but it's good to get a lot of these challenges done, even for characters that you finished all of the perks for, because you can buy all sorts of stuff that you can't get all the time. For me, the big thing is the Modron component chests, because I'm still working on my Modron cores, getting those set up. So let's start with Mert. Mert's a good one to start off with. He's got beast enemies, ultimate attack, so some of these are just going to happen. 200 levels. Usually what I start looking for is when they start picking out specific champions so that you try to get specific champions in the specific places they need. So we're looking at Minsk for being super powerful, an area of 400 or higher. Oh, we got Arkan, Tyrell, and Makos. Okay, so let's set up a... Let's get a Mert going first, and get a Mert going first. That's a weird way of saying that, but there we are. 5,000 construct enemies. Let's see. What's a good free play for construct? Frozen Vengeance. Let's go for that. All right. Let's get our Mert started. We're gonna complete this. Yay, I'm done. And we'll skip this end screen we'll do some things faster. All right, Mert, you're on the board. What did I say we were going to do? We're going to do some Frozen Vengeance. Do I remember where Frozen Vengeance is? This is the part in where you get to watch me just go, where's Frozen Vengeance again? I don't remember where it's some here. It's here somewhere. Ah, there we go. Frozen Vengeance. Perfect. Okay, so let's get Mert. So I know we want Minsk out there doing his job. Okay, and who was it else that we needed? We needed Arkan, Tyrell, and Makos. Oh! Let's see. Well, we were going after constructs. I'll probably end up changing this at some point. We'll do beasts for the moment and just get him out of the way. Okay. We got Arkan. Let's get Tyrell and Makos, was it? Yeah. I don't know what you're going to be yet. You're probably going to be a tank, so why not? And Makos. Okay, so here's a starting formation. And Orkira. She's just in there. Let's find out who some of the other characters that are going to be showing up in other patron challenges are before I start putting a formation together, because I don't want to end up with like Orkira in this formation just having fun and then find out that, oh, I should be using her in Vajra. So let's see. Oh, Vajra, I was already doing some stuff. All right, so already we've got some crossover. Makos. So we're not going to be doing that immediately. We just need a tanking champion. Okay. Strahd. What you want? Vlanya, Frida, and Stokey. Okay, and how about Zariel? Oh, we got a Kreidel, Warden, Sentry, and Human. Okay. You know what, Orkira? You get to stay. That's exciting. So let's go ahead and build a formation. Stick you back there. And why Orkira? Why not Orkira? Isn't she adorable? She should be in all of the formations. Every formation. I just want her there. Also, my closed captioning doesn't know my character's name. That's okay. That's fine. All right. Let's stick you up there. So if you're gonna be there, we'll have you be Moonbeam. Oh, let's see. Well, this probably isn't going to be Heroes of the Plains formation because I can't even have Averin in there. I want to save Human because he was in another event. Vlanya was in another event. Let's stick Hitch in there. Sure. Let's get Chandy and get some speed. Let's get Quillic in there. Go be charismatic. Go do all of the charisma. Let's see. Let's get Spurt in there. Spurt's fun. Yay, Spurt. And if we stick Hitch back there, we can get one more buffer. Let's get not like the most optimized formation here. Not just amazing. But you know what? It's going to get us through everything that we need. Let's do pack tactics. And so I got a pretty good formation here. We'll stick on a potion of speed. We'll take the advice of chat and get through these as fast as possible. So there we go. There's a pretty good formation. This is our Mert churn. And so for this, we need a couple of free plays at 200 or higher. And Minsk has to get to 250, and these guys got to do all the way to 1,000. So let's go ahead and save this formation. I'll overwrite that one. Why not? And let's get you all set up. There we go, and we'll go to 251. I like to go one pass just to be on the safe side. And hopefully in a little while that'll be done. There we go. Mert on the board. Sounds good. Let's take a moment and check in with chat and see if we've got any questions. Oh, geesh. Your cursor is not appearing on stream. Is that a problem? That's probably a problem. I should probably fix that. Hold on a second. Let's see if we can capture our cursor. Let's see. Hey, there's a cursor. Does that help? You like seeing the little... There you go. That's been fixed. Good. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Thank you, Martin. That is appreciated. Cursor is now things are being clicked on, not just happening. Ah, okay. I mean, it's kind of fun to watch a game happen and not like it's just a ghost playing, but there you go. You got a cursor. Kicking our grass starts off our questions for today. Hello, question. Did you create her character or do you just play the character? Just curious. I play her. I created her. So 3 years ago? 2.5, 3 years ago? Back when I was, back a couple years ago when we started up what was at the time called Heroes of the Veil. It was the first in a series of streams that have all been kind of the same group of people. That was when we created a bunch of characters, and I created this Dragonborn cleric who was quite a bit different at the time. Prayed to a different god, did not have the wings and the tail and the spikes and everything. Was a lot smaller. And then D&D happened over the last couple of years, and she's changed a bit. But yeah, Orkira's someone who I created a couple of years ago. And so now I've played her in a bunch of different streams. She's currently on 2 different streams right now. She's on Heroes of the Plains on Tuesday nights and on D4 on Sunday nights. So I get to play her at 2 different times. It's the same character, one's just a year ahead of the other, which is... My note-taking is weird on right now. Orkira is weird. It's an interesting way to note-take. But yeah, she's mine. And then we were really lucky before I got a chance to work for C&E and before I had the wonderful opportunity to join the team. I've just been a fan of the game, and our characters were starting to be put into the game. So Todd actually ended up being first with Averin, and then Briv and Alindra and Freely and Penelope all came after that. And it just so happened that when Orkira was scheduled to go into the game was after I got hired. So it was a little bit of a fun time. There were meetings I had months and months and months before I joined the team, and months before she ended up in the game, because it takes a while to get a character in the game. So I had these fun meetings in where I was the content creator for Orkira, and then suddenly started showing up as an employee. So it was a fun transition. But thank you for asking. Sayf2. Hi, Lauren. Good to see you again. Good to see you too. I'm a fairly early player, and I'm finding it a bit tough to get influence from Mert, which would help with shop purchases. I'm interested to see how you handle doing Mert's variants. Well, perfect. Here we are. We got a Mert turn going on there. If you're just working on one patron at a time, if you've only unlocked 1 or 2 patrons, or if you're trying to focus on one and you have multiple parties, it can help a lot to do that, sit and look through, okay, what are the challenges, who's being asked for what, and kind of plan it out ahead of time. Just taking that moment saves me a lot of time, especially since I am a player who has the game idling in the background. I'm not as active of a player as a lot of people are. So just taking that moment on the Monday when everything comes out and checking things over. And if you're just concerned about the one patron, then yeah, you know, if all I wanted to do was Mert, so here we've got, you know, I'm going to take care of Minsk here. I'm going to take care of this here. I'm eventually going to take care of the constructs. The complete area 400 or higher would probably be a different, that'll be a different formation that I might put together. And this complete 500 areas without any tanking champions, that would be a different one that I'd do. So I'd probably put together a different formation just for that. But for the moment, we're going to do a whole other patron. I will start taking suggestions. Who do we want to go after next? Whose patron do we want to charge into next for one of my other parties? We'll go ahead and get suggestions from that while I take some more questions. Green Tomador. I'm a newish player. Welcome. Should I unlock 3 patrons if I can't yet unlock all 4? That's kind of up to you. The nice thing about unlocking patrons is they do give you the option to be able to get access to some really nice stuff like time gate pieces, which can be helpful as a new player in order to unlock more champions, which will help with more of your patron challenges, because as you've seen, some of these patron challenges require very specific characters. So it depends on kind of where you are, and if you've already got 3 patrons, I think you're in a pretty good spot. Zerial is hard to unlock. There's a lot that is involved there. So I don't think you need to hurry, take your time, but if you've got a couple of patrons, then I think personally I would focus on those for a little while so you can use the resources to buy things like the time gate pieces, get yourself some Modront component chests, unlock some of this fun stuff. Usually one of the first things I buy is the Potion of Polish, and the familiars that are unlocked in here. Like, those are really useful to have. So those are really good things to kind of focus on. And if going after Zerial is going to be a challenge, I think it's perfectly fine to focus on the ones you have. Let's see. Spastogen. Any tips on getting to patrons? Been playing for about 2 months now. Welcome. I love that we've got all these new players or newish players in here. Welcome. But struggling to get enough loot levels. Yeah, so if you're struggling to complete some of the requirements to unlock the patrons, I would suggest just continuing to play the regular game. Get yourself some more favor in any of the campaigns. Unlock more champions. Gear up some of those champions. A lot of the patron stuff can be mid to later game stuff after you've kind of built up that favor. So don't feel bad if you're struggling to unlock some of that. Some of those challenges can be difficult. So don't be surprised, and don't be too upset if it's taking you a little while. There's plenty to do in the game, and definitely continuing to gear up your champions and unlock things and get more favor in the regular campaign is going to help a lot when you do unlock all of the patrons. Let's go back to chat for a second because I asked chat. Yeah, patience, Spastogen, I just saw. And once again, how some people love to blitz through a bunch of stuff and see how fast they can get through a bunch of things. But there's a lot of us who also just kind of enjoy the ride and also are enjoying playing the game as the idle game it is, and where I'm going to play a little bit and I'm going to go do other things. So yeah, be patient, keep working on stuff that you're excited about, that you're interested in, that is fun to do, and they will come. The patrons will come. Let's see. I'd asked chat what's the next patron that I should go after. So yeah, let me actually look at chat for a second. Who should we set up a formation for next? I got Vajra, Strahd, and Zariel. I'd like to have kind of... I mean, I can't have one of each. I don't have a fourth party. I mean, none of us do, but, you know. So I got these 3 parties. We're seeing more Mert. Fan of Mert, eh? Let's see. Strahd. Oh, yes, for those of you coming in for the code, it's over there on the screen. Am I pointing in the right direction? Yep, you can see it right over there. Also, welcome to the stream. Hope you get some awesome stuff in your Electrum chests. That's one of the things I also do on Mondays, is I tend to go and redeem a whole bunch of chest codes for Electrum chests. Let's see, Mormert, Strahd, Zariel, my newish people, let's go with the first patron, Mert. All right, so we've gotten Mert a couple times, and a Strahd, and a Zariel. So let's do what I talked about. Let's finish out a Mert. So we'll do another Mert for our second thing. So as I said, what I got going on now is going to take care of a bunch of this without me having to worry. Let's talk about doing a formation without any tanking champions. Let's get to 400 or higher. And we're working on constructs, so, well, looks like we're just going to get beasts going on, too. I didn't realize this was going to have so many beasts as well. Well, you know what? Let's double up on beasts. Who's good for beasts? We'll do a grand tour. Why not? Let's do a tour that is grand. Let's do beast intentions. All right, second Mert, same as the first. Let's get you to the Grand Tour and Beast Intentions. Okay, so we don't want tanks. Let's put a bunch of... I always like to start off by putting a whole bunch of familiars out there, because if you've earned enough favor to unlock and done all the things you need to do to unlock the patron challenges, then chances are, for a little while at least, you can roll through with just click damage, which is nice because then it kind of gives me time to set things up. So we don't want any tanks, which fortunately this means we don't have to worry too much about frontline funness. I've been putting Human in that front slot, but I know Human's in a different place. Who was that? All right, Zariel, you're going to have to wait on Human for a little bit. Because I like putting my 3 kobolds in a trench coat right up front. And the reason I like doing that is because enemies have a 50% chance to drop double quest items or count for double quest progress. And so why not? Why not double your everything? So yeah, do we want to stick with Brunner? Oh, I can't use Deacon. No Deacon. All right, we'll stick with Brunner. That's fine. Who should be my DPS here? All right, so I'm going to admit something else. For everybody talking about Zorbu. Here we go. I've been playing this game for a very long time, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have the best geared champions. Now my Zorbu has got some pretty good gear, but they're not amazing levels. So here's the thing. I haven't done a lot of grinding on Zorbu, so his numbers are actually not amazing for me. So I'm one of those people that doesn't have an amazing Zorbu. I mean, I guess I could stick him in here, and I could work on him here. Yeah, sure, why not? Go on, Zorbu. Charge into battle. Why not? So yeah, you could see his base stuff is pretty low. His lifelong enemy is killed. So okay, I will take suggestions for a specialization. Yeah, Yeah, everyone's like talking about Zorbu and looking at my poor Zorbu here. I know. Let's see, that's going to be a damage bonus. His lifelong enemy's kill counters increment multiple times for each kill. To be honest, I've been going there because it increases his lifelong enemies countered by 3, and I could use the help. Yeah, I think we want to focus anger and level him up because I need him leveled. Okay, so if we're gonna build around Zorbu, let's see. Oh, we can't Averin here. Sure, freely get in there. Let's go help out our chaotic good friend here. And then who else do I stick in here? Chaotic good. Do we have... Well, we don't got a Lindra. I do tend to go immediately for the heroes that are my friends, but let's see. Once again, this is probably not going to be the most optimized formation because I've got a whole bunch of them going on at the same time, but we are trying to get to, what is it, 400? Yeah, but we can do that over several playthroughs. That's just complete. Oh, that's complete area 400. What's the one that's the tanks? It's 500 areas without. All right, so we're going to try to get to area 400 on this. So let's, let's see. Let's buff up Zorbu as much as we can without any tanks. This could be hard, actually. This might not be we might not be able to get to level 400. But you know what? Yeah, TTRP gifts. I mean, we all have favorites in here, right? That we like working with. So let's see. Pain. Always go for the pain. Oh, Calliope, get out in there. Buff my folks. Oh, Baloth would be good. We'll stick you back there. Get in there and buff Zorbu. All the Zorbu buffing. Oh, nope. I'm gonna pass on that. Ooh, Talon might be good because of the number of evil champions I have. Yeah, Ace FHJ1. I might also increase my click damage, but I tend to like to see what I can do with the actual champions before I start dropping click damage. What's the thing in where Talon decreases the DPS of evil champions of formation, but this is the other way. Nope. Because Zorbu is... Oh, he's chaotic good. Why did I think he was evil? All right, nope, we're sticking Talon in there. Go for it. This is perfect. All right, we need one more. Who else? Who else should we stick in here? Who is not a tank? Who could we stick in here that's not a tank? Pathfinder. I think Wolfguard. We could stick in Rosie. I guess we could do Olcoria. She's not gonna do very much for us. Yeah. Why did I think Zorba was evil? All the murdering, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Little evil murder gnome. But, but I guess he's chaotic good. Yeah, I don't know who we want to stick in here. Oh, hi. Hey, look, it's me. There's another alert. Hi, new people that have joined us. Welcome to a new show called Weekly Patronage, where we hang out and we chat and we go through the patron challenges and we wonder why Zorbu isn't actually evil. Because he's not. I mean, yes, Joe Malo. Every D&D character, to an extent, does a little bit of killing. I'm not going to say murdering because I think only actual murder hobos get into that, but most of the time, if you've got a fairly good bunch of players who are playing good characters, then there is a distinct difference between killing and murdering. Like, if you get attacked, you have a right to defend yourself. But that's a different question. Man, I just can't decide on who this last slot is gonna be. I mean, oh, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna stick Freely in the back because it doesn't matter where Freely is. Freely just does fun stuff. And we're gonna stick Barrowin in the middle. Barrowin is gonna help bless our champions. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Let's stick a speed potion on here. Potion speed. Go forth, Zorbu, and kill all the things. Once again, not the most optimized formation, but it'll be a fun one. Let's answer some more questions from chat and take a little drink. Take a little drink here. Loki Grommel says Minsk needs the highest DPS, right? Yes. So that, whoops, don't, nope. There we go. Yeah, he's just got to have the highest total damage dealing, excluding ultimates. So I like to, in those cases when it's that character, even if they're not a DPS character, is just stick them in the DPS slot and just focus on making them DPS. Especially since I do tend to be the person who plays and just lets things go. I'm not going to be being too active and micromanaging. So setting things up to help Minsk succeed. In fact, hey, let's go check in. How you doing, Minsk? I'll grab some more questions. Joe Malo wants to know, does the Orkira voice hurt your throat? Sounds like it would to me. So no, because I prep, but it's a good question because I do get a lot of those questions. So, for Orkira, I'm using what's called vocal fry. It's that down here that you just kind of growl a little bit. And I've actually made Orkira a little bit lighter in the past year or two as I've continued to play her. So, because she used to be a bit more down here. And when she gets really angry. See, I didn't warm up Orkira, so I can't do her for very long. But yeah, I do vocal warm-ups to help loosen all of this up so that I don't hurt myself. It also helps in D&D games that I play. I'm playing with 5 other people, playing with 5 other players plus the DM. So I'm not actually talking for 2 hours or 4 hours. There's a lot of variance, and I don't have to talk if, there's something else going on. So she doesn't hurt, but I do a lot of prep and I keep an eye on things. And my suggestion to anyone who is thinking about doing a voice for their character, don't do anything that does hurt because your voice is way more important than any D&D character. But if you're going to do something like that would hurt after a while or would need that prep, that's okay. Just make sure you always do the prep and make sure that you're, stopping if things get bad. And also for me, I do tend to have a lot of tea and juice and other things nearby so that I can take a moment and be like, hold on a second. Naughty Bear says, reminds me of Patty and Selma from The Simpsons. Yeah, so the joke with Orkira is that because she's fire-based, I don't smoke at all because that's unhealthy, but, I do kind of sound like I smoke that many packs a day. It's weird pulling Orkira out this morning. I was just playing her last night, and so it's a little weird pulling her out. Okay. Vaxon wants to know, didn't Orkira start as an Aarakocra? No, but I am a huge fan of Aarakocra. When we first started to play the first 2 episodes of the show, that was Heroes of the Veil, actually had another player playing an Aarakocra. So Orkira wasn't an Aarakocra at the time. I had just come off a different show called The Demon Plague with James Intercasso, and it was James Intercasso was the DM. There was Rudy Basso and TK Johnson and other people who I'm forgetting at the moment, and I feel really bad. Oh, I feel the worst. Anyway, it was an awesome show. You should go check it out. And that was a game that I played in Aarakocra, and I think there was a little bit of overlap. So, yeah, Orkira was a Furbolg for a little while. Orkira, I kind of settled on Dragonborn pretty quick. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey! I love this. Thank you, Alpha Krull, with the U from Crush. Crush, Alpha Krull. Gotcha. Thank you for telling me how to pronounce your name. I appreciate you. Thank you. Wants to know, could you make the text box for the closed captioning a bit bigger? The way the text moves, it makes it a bit hard to follow. Maybe make it go all the way to the bottom of the screen. Smaller text is an option, but possibly harder to read. That is good feedback. Since this is a new overlay, I'm doing a lot of balancing to get size of text without taking up too much of the screen, but also being easier to read. So yeah, I'll look at making that text box a bit bigger. Here's the other thing I'm keeping in mind. I got this other screen. Hey, look, it's a tiny little game box. I don't know why this screen makes me laugh, but this captions is a smaller box. It's right there. And so it was trying to balance out those two. And the reason I've got this overlay mostly is for if we're just kind of watching the game go on, for being idle players, and I was showing off something else. It was something that I used during some of the morning streams when I was I almost said unboxing, but I guess unpacking? Doing pack cracking of Magic the Gathering cards. So on this screen, I can definitely get that captions box a bit larger. I will work on that. I don't want to make the text any smaller because then I agree with what you're saying. It will make it hard to read. Let's see. Star Chaser 43. Do you think that a new player may have just unlocked a patron would be able to complete all of the challenges for that patron? It depends on the week, because a new player is not going to have all of the champions. And so I think it's going to be kind of a toss-up on the week, because sometimes the challenges include champions that are easy. So like, for example, Mert here, all of these champions are evergreen champions. So even a brand new person should be able to do everything in here. Yes, some of them are going to be hard, like getting to 400 or higher might be a challenge, but there's nothing here that they shouldn't be able to do. Some of these are gonna be more difficult. For example, Vajra is gonna want something with the Black Viper, and if you don't have the Black Viper unlocked, then you have to go through the process of doing a time gate if you don't have her unlocked yet. But it's a week-to-week thing. There are weeks in where I don't complete all the patron challenges. I will just admit it. There are some times, especially if it's a week that an event is going on, I'm trying to gear up the event champion. There are some times in where there's a couple of challenges where I'm like, I need those specific champions for other things that I'm doing. And so I just will fall behind. But I think it's very possible depending on the patron and the challenges. The Camaroo. Any tips for an absolute newbie? First off, welcome. Glad to have you. Welcome to the game. Absolute newbie. Find something you're having fun doing and do it. There's a ton of guides out there. There's a bunch of them. You can go to our Discord. You can go to the subreddit. There's our YouTube channel. I'll put a whole bunch of links in here. We've got actually 2 YouTube channels right now. And all of them are going to have tons of information and people who would be more than happy to help answer questions and give you advice. For a more general answer to the newbie question, figure out what some of your what are some of the things you're having fun doing, and do those. Are you having fun collecting the champions? Then go through some of the time gates that you can and prioritize the events that are coming up. Are you enjoying just kind of playing around with formations and things? Then do that. Come to our Discord. We have a whole channel all about formation strategy, and people can give you suggestions based on what champions you have. The other more concrete suggestion I have, especially when you're brand new, remember that there's just going to be a lot of playing through a free play with whoever you got until you hit your wall, which is the place in where you can't advance anymore, and then restart. every time you restart, you're going to gain favor, which is going to make it easier to do your next run. And you'll go a little bit further, and you'll go a little bit further, and you'll unlock a little bit more. So be okay with just playing until you've hit that point and reset and do it again. Do another free play. Try a variant. If you can't do the variant, it's okay. You're still unlocking favor. You're still getting the experience of playing with that formation. You never lose anything, even if you can't finish a variant right away. So give things a try and just let yourself restart as often as you feel like you need, or when you hit that wall, so that you gain that favor, so that you just kind of start on that nice roll of getting more and more and more powerful. But also, welcome to the game. Ace FHJ1, aren't silver chests technically the most efficient way to raise loot levels by gem costs? Oh, that's one of those questions and where everyone's gonna have an opinion. If you ask me versus if you ask other people, I think it's easier to get a whole bunch of the silvers and also electrum chests. Those are really good for raising loot levels and stuff, but you do lose out on, the possibility of being able to actually grab, gold chests give you some things that you can't get anywhere else. So it kind of depends on what you're going for, but you're not losing out on anything. Like, if you decide to use some of your gems to buy one chest versus another, or if you're deciding on, prioritizing purchasing specific chests, it's never a loss. It's always going to help. So, we just have a lot of questions. I'm going to answer this, and then we're going to get our third party going before I forget, because I'm already 43 minutes behind. There are people who would have finished all the variants by now, all the challenges. Maybe. Kinravip wants to know, what is a good adventure when Mert wants you to off a bunch of constructs? When Mert just gets really unhappy about constructs, and is just like, I want you to go out there, and I want you to get all the constructs that you can. So, I will admit, on a regular basis, I look up some of the lists and suggestions that are on our Reddit or on our Discord. I think the Reddit actually has a couple good lists. There's a wiki out there that will list off the best places to get a lot of specific types of enemies. For constructs in specific, it looks like there's a ton in Rime of the Frost Maiden. So if you've made it to Rime of the Frost Maiden, if you unlock that adventure, then there's a bunch of different free plays in there. Specifically, I've got Mert in Frozen Vengeance. There he be. There's a lot of constructs there. But if you haven't gotten to Rime of the Frost Maiden for Grand Tour, look at Mad Wizard. Mad Wizard is the quintessential place to go and get a lot of stuff done. So, all right. Keep asking your questions. We'll keep putting them in chat, and our amazing moderators, Martin and Ryan, will be grabbing those. I will come back to those in a moment. But let's get a Vajra going. I think that was the suggestion. People were talking about Vajra and Zariel, and I'm going to avoid Zariel for the moment because I just stuck Human in a party. So let's get a Vajra going. We already kind of accidentally did a bunch of stuff for Vajra, which is super helpful. We can't do this one just yet because I'm using two of those characters, but let's see. We want a tanking champion as our main boss. We want a bunch of Fae. Whew. Let's do some Fae. Where, because I saw Undead on there, and I also saw Humanoid, but that's only 2,500. Fae. Where are we going for Fae? Let's lurk in Lurkwood. I don't know why that made me laugh. All right, Vajra. Let's get going. Let's get you Grand Tour. Who lurks in Lurkwood? We want... Come here. Vajra. Grand Tour. Oh, no, wait. That wasn't it. I always go under where Lurkwood is, and we'll get you going. All right. Let's get all of our familiars out there. And so we're not doing this, but we're trying to get a tanking champion as our highest. All right, chat. Anyone got a tank you like to see as a main DPS? Who we want DPSing for us? I got everybody. Let's throw out some suggestions. Let's see. What tanks do I actually have available? I mean, we got Novas available. We got Wolfgar. Yep, he's a tankin'. Archon is both a tank and a DPS. Unfortunately, I got him. He is in another castle at the moment, so I can't grab Archon. Let's see. We got Lazapaz, although she doesn't have the best gear, but you know we do. Walnut. We got a Walnut is available. Let's see. Oh, Nox. We got a Sergeant Nox if we want to put them in there. We got a Briv. We've got a Sentry. I always have to... No, you're just DPS and support. I always think she's... we got Nayeli, but Nayeli is a pretty good actual tank, and I've got her geared up pretty good. And we could do Grama. Let's see. Nope, I don't got anybody there. We got Turiel, but Turiel's not an amazing DPS. Also, I need to use Deacon because Deacon is awesome. All right, let's see who we got. Yeah, I can't do Archon. Yeah, Wolfgar. Wolfgar is sounding good. People suggesting Ayla, which, yeah, she's pretty good. I could put both Wolfgar and Ayla in there, and Nova. Let's see. Ooh, is Havilar available? Because Havilar is also... unfortunately, Havilar is not available in this. Oh, I've gone too far without putting anybody out there. Yeah, a couple people are asking for... Yeah, it's true. We could do a dragon bait. Where are you? We could do a dragon bait. People would be... Oh, I should do dragon bait, shouldn't I? Oh, we could do an all-tank formation. That is true. Yeah, you know, I kind of want to just do oops, all tanks. Let's do this. Oops, all tanks time. Maybe, and also maybe a Deacon. Okay. Let's get Nayeli out there too. Up front. I still got to decide. You're not going to have... Let's apply you to all champions. Let's do... we're not going to have Celeste or Makos in here. Ooh. Well, you know what? We're going to have all the defense in here. So we'll do that. I usually go Sentry's Homeland because usually when I'm using Sentry, they are in the front, but they're not going to be in the front. Let's see. Chance to ensnare effective enemies. Yeah, I think I'm going to Nature's Wrath. Yeah, let's skip stuff. Let's call the storm. Let's make people more powerful. Let's... yeah, let's heavy blows. And there's not really any other C team in here, so let's go there. All right, we still need to decide on who's going to be our main tank. Yeah, Nova, Ayla, Wolfgar. That's true. But we can't Nova because I went with Dragon Bait, and I'm sticking with Dragon Bait. I'm sticking with my smelly boy. You know what? I think I'm gonna stick Wolfgar and Ayla up there, and I think the two of them are gonna be our main. I think it's probably gonna be Wolfgar. I think he's got slightly better gear. I mean, this just helps to make sure that everybody... I mean, oops, all tanks means I'm going to get this no matter what. However, I think I am... I mean, the only other tank I got is Turiel. And Turiel is... Jason Nolte. Dragonbait smells like team spirit. Yes, I love it. Okay, here we go. It's oops, all tanks and a bard. Oops, all tanks and a bard. Because the only other tank I have available... Turiel is a tank, but their ability... Basically, you stick them at the front, and then they make the people further back. I thought Turiel had it. Well, you know what? Now we gotta look. Am I lying? Oh, no, he's only support. Okay, well, we're sticking with Deacon. I just know his thing is, or their thing is, they increase the damage of champions the further back they are, and I really want Naeli up there. So, you know what? Deacon. Whoops, all... Come on, get up there. There we go. I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous formation, but I love it. And now, unless Deacon becomes suddenly a DPS, a tank is going to finish this out. That's amazing. All right, let's stick out a potion of speed and get that going. And yeah, Vajra. Whoops, all tanks. This is gonna be amazing. And we'll get a bunch of stuff done. Doom per second. Yeah, on a regular basis, I put together formations that are just like all Dragonborn and Kobolds. It's just so much fun. One of the few regrets I have about Orkira being in slot 1 is that Orkira and Deacon can't be in a party together, and that makes both of us very sad. You should put Deacon on the front of the formation. All the tanks behind the bard. Yes, that's where it go. Science Guy says, now C&E needs to make this an actual variant. Oops, all tanks. I will make that suggestion because this was ridiculously fun. This is probably not optimized at all, but I love it. I love it so much. Okay, let's go back to some questions that have come on in. So here we are. We're 54 minutes in, and we're already grinding through a whole bunch of challenges. Morguda Tisk asks, where can I find Faye for Vajra's patron? Faye. So the Lurks in Lurkwood is a good place. Let's see, where else can we find? So Who Lurks in Lurkwood and the Mad Wizard are both excellent places for Faye. Those are kind of your top places. They're right in Grand Tour. They're going to be really easy to get to. If you're looking for also maybe grabbing some favor in another campaign, Everlasting Rhyme in Rime of the Frost Maiden is also a place you can find Faye. But really, if I'm looking at these numbers right now, Lurkwood and Mad Wizard are kind of your jam. It's kind of where you want to go. Let's see. Z Andor, adjacent question. Anyone else feel terrible when the game asks for monsters killed and puts you up against some stray dogs or cats or even some poor birds? Oh. Yeah, I think a lot of those cases, they're not being killed, they're running away, or you're scaring them away, but yeah. Yeah, every once in a while, it's like, oh. I mean, what's getting killed right now? It's happening so fast, I can't even tell. I think it's just more Fae are being killed. But yeah, I do every once in a while. Certainly, if this was a real sit-down at a table D&D game, my players and I, as a player, would not be just rolling through slaughtering everything like this without a care. But, you know, it's a video game. It's okay. No real creatures were harmed in the making of this patron challenge. That's true. All right. Pin trailer. So everyone gets the same patron challenges. I thought they were random for all. I don't remember. let me look that up. Edlad, can anyone suggest somewhere early in a campaign for constructs? Yeah. We were just looking at constructs, actually, and I've already forgotten. Constructs. So, early in the campaign, so Grand Tour the Mad Wizard is kind of the earliest in the campaign you can get constructs on a regular basis. A little bit further, if you've got Dragon Heist, you can do the dinner party, and that'll get you a couple more. So those are kind of your two earliest in the campaign for constructs. Probably Mad Wizard is a better one. That's the quintessential, everybody goes to Mad Wizard to do just a bunch of getting stuff done. Because I don't play as actively as a lot of players, because I do just let it run, I tend to go for campaigns that have the most in them, because I'm not intentionally like resetting at specific places or keeping an eye on specific counters or stuff like that. So if you're going to set it and forget it for a while, then yeah, I would look for wherever you can find the most in a campaign, in a free play. But there are some places in where you might not have as many in the entire free play, but I only have to get to this level. And especially on Mad Wizard, there's a couple places where you can just kind of let it sit and churn through enemies depending on what you're looking for. So yeah, it kind of depends on how you're playing, really. Jack Jazz Hands. Is Human new? Tried Usurped Power Arcan with under 1 second attacks yet? No, not yet. Human is relatively new. Not super new. Human came out... Oh, see, I'm just going to have to look this up now. Let's get you a date. Because Human's been out long enough that... January. Yep, looks like Human came out in January. So, 8-ish months. New for this game, which has been out for many, many, many years. But yeah, Human's pretty new, and I think a lot of us are fans of... first off, we're fans of 3 kobolds in a trench coat, but also, I think Human is very effective, and I do try to use Human as often as possible in patron variants for the chance of getting double rewards of stuff, because it's a nice place to get them. Science Guy wants to know, can you actually get challenges for heroes you don't have? I thought that wasn't possible. I don't know. I will check. I will have to ask that. Let me put that as a note to ask. Making notes. Let's see. Jamick Unyielding wants to know, do you still actively play Magic? If so, what deck formations do you like to play? So, here's the truth. I don't actively play Magic the Gathering. I've played a couple of times. I've played way back, back in the day when conventions were still a thing. There were a couple times when we're hanging out in a line. I did some unpacking of packs and played once or twice. So no, I actually don't. I hardly play at all. I've maybe played 3 or 4 times in my life. But here's the thing. They released this Magic the Gathering Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. And the art on it is really cool. And I just kind of like the art. And so I keep buying packs. Give me a second. Here, we'll use my other thing. So I keep just buying packs, and I keep just ending up with lots of Magic the Gathering cards. I haven't played a game yet. I haven't found a game of people to play against. I don't know. I know very little about Magic the Gathering. I know the basics, being a geek in the geek space, being a fan of the art, being a D&D player who has now bought a lot of cards and hasn't played any Magic the Gathering with any of them yet. Now, a lot of very kind people have offered to teach or to play or to help build a deck. So I'm very lucky. There are quite a few friends of mine who have already offered to help out. And I do have some fun cards. I do have a lot of fun cards. But I haven't actually played. Now, the little that I know about Magic the Gathering, to kind of answer your question, I am a fan of just put big creatures out and kill people. So I guess green, red, yeah, green and red, I think, are the ones that do that. I reserve the right to be wrong. But yeah, I have a couple dragons that I'm happy with. I have, you know what I don't have? I have all of these amazing cards. I still don't have an Eliwick. And I still don't have most of the dragons. But, as a bard, I am super happy that I have the Instrument of the Bards. This isn't going to work, but there you go. Instrument of the Bards. I got that one. That makes me happy. So yeah, if anyone has any suggestions for Magic the Gathering, I am always interested. I should play because I have cards. I have plenty of cards. All right. Well, you know, one of these days I will actually play, and I will let you know. I will let you know how I'm doing. Let's go back over here. But thank you for asking, and I do want to play, but really, honestly, it is 100%. I just like collecting the cards, and the art on them is gorgeous, and I have some ideas about using the art, the cards in actual D&D games. So, oh, and we got another alert. Hey, welcome, people who have not come to the show. Welcome to Weekly Patronage, where I sit and enjoy chatting with chat while we go through patron challenges, because on Mondays at noon Pacific is when the new patron challenges come out. So welcome, join us, grab a chest code. We are right now churning through Mert and Vajra stuff, challenges. And we're getting through them. Strahd and Zariel are just gonna have to wait because we've got oops all tanks and a bard going on. What other questions do we have? Okay. Oh, I have been informed. You can't get challenges for champions you don't have. If it is a champion you don't have, it will fall back to a core evergreen champion you do have. So, to answer Star Chaser's question from way earlier in a much better way, if you don't have a champion, you will not get a patron challenge for that champion. But it's nice to have the variety of champions, because eventually you're going to be looking at finishing 4 different patrons and all of these challenges, and having a stock of champions to draw from is going to be very, very effective. But no, it looks like the devs are smarter than me, which is not surprising. Joe Mac wants to know, how do you get the side portraits back? Oh, okay, so there was an update to the game. I don't know if it's on all platforms yet. I'm currently playing on Steam. So if you go to your settings, you can see console UI portraits down here. I believe once you get the update that it is automatically turned on. I like them both. I think they're both super cool. Let's go to the console portraits for a little bit. Let's come back here. Front facing. Look at all of them. I think these are gorgeous, and I love being able to see them, and I love that you have the option to go back and forth between them. The reason that I don't have the console portraits on is because I'm not used to the entire suite of champions looking at me, judging me. I mean, maybe that's just me. So we'll just come back here to being side-eyed. Yeah. But I think the console UI portraits are really, really nice looking. We're going to come over here, and I'm going to show you, not to bring up Orkira again, but hey, guess what? It's going to happen because she's in the game and she's awesome. Once we get over here, I'm going to show off this front-facing Orkira. because it's adorable, and you get to see in close-up her scars and everything, and like some of them actually look kind of happy, and some of them have that stern look on their face of, all right, we need to slaughter things now. But the fact that they're all looking directly out, so they look like they're looking at me, is just not something I'm used to. So Tyrell is not amused. Yes, Endermerk. Yeah, some of them are happy, some of them are serious, some of them are yes, less than amused. But I decided to come back here to the regular portraits because I need them looking in a different direction from me. Especially when every once in a while I come back and I've hit my wall and some of them are dead, and it's like, oh, I have failed them. Okay, back to questions. All right, so that was about that. Cell369, how do you open those second parties? Every time I try, it just says end current adventure, and I can't even start them. That sounds like a bug. If you've got other parties and you come over here and it's giving you that alert, you might want to put in a support ticket, see what's going on. Before you put in the support ticket, try restarting your game. See if that helps, especially if you haven't restarted your game in a while. Just close it down and turn it back on. It is one of those things in where it sounds, well, turn it off and back on again. But that does often help. So give that a try, but otherwise, I'm not sure what's going on there. Joe Malo asks, do some areas get more distractions to squish than others? Yes. I don't know offhand, but yeah, some areas get a ton of distractions and some don't. A lot of the outdoor areas will get more of the distractions. Some of them, like the Frozen Vengeance, the area that we're in right now, we're in this indoor area, and if you look, you'll see right now there's no distractions showing up. So, yeah, if you end up with a patron challenge that says kill so many distractions, you can end up in one of those weird situations and where you're like, I've gone through all of these areas. Why haven't I killed enough distractions? Well, you're in an area that doesn't have any. So, yeah, also Cell 369, if you can't start split the party, I'm being updated and other suggestions. If you can't actually start split the party, there might be some of the requirements to start split the party haven't been met yet. So take another look at what those requirements are. But give that a try and see if that's your problem. So you might need to actually just go to the map screen and take a look. The real bunny beast wants to know who's dragon bait. Am I going to be the person on this channel who has to talk about the joys of dragon bait? Let's come back over here. Let's come back to Oops All Tanks. Yeah, and I just saw in chat Matt Enders suggested if you blitz zones too fast, distractions might not show up. So yes, some areas, yeah, if you just are churning through it really fast, if you've got speed potion on, if you've got Shandy helping you go through, if you got a bunch going on, it takes a little bit for the distractions to start to show up, and you might be going too fast for even the distractions. Even the crows cannot keep up with you. So yes, let's come back here to... Oh, this was not my Dragon Bait party. What am I doing? Oops, all tanks. Exactly, Jazero. Dragon Bait is awesome. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I don't know why there is a group of people who are not fans of Dragon Bait. But there we go. There they are. I mean, they communicate with smells. How can you not love that? Also, my Dragon Bait is pretty decently geared, which helps a lot. I don't get to use them as often because, Avron. Yeah, Avron. Avron is there. Also, my Warden is really nicely geared, and Warden is a pretty good DPS. So yeah. Listen, I think it's perfectly okay for everybody to have their favorites. To have, like, the champions that they really like using. And there's going to be opinions on who is more objectively powerful or useful. But here's the thing. If you like using them for whatever reason, because you like their character, because you like the person who plays that character, because they're super useful in specific situations, because you like the art, for whatever reason, that's all that matters. I mean, if Orkira was super unuseful, I would still use her all the time, because she's close to my heart. I would feel bad that she is super not as useful, but, you still use them. And especially when you get to this point in the game and where you've got all the patrons going on and you've unlocked the multi-party mode and you might have an event going on at the same time that you're also trying to do other things, having that depth of your roster and using some of the champions that you're not as much of a fan of is really useful, because then you get to do all of the stuff. So send some love towards Dragonbait. That was your Dragonbait PSA. He's a Soriel. Yep, Soriel. I think he's awesome. Also, I love the fact that he communicates in smells and is just amazing. Back to questions. JDog2773 wants to know, what other new shows should we look for this week? What an excellent question. Thank you for asking. If I didn't know better, I'd say that you had planned that. But so I know of at least one new show that is happening this specific week. But there's going to be a bunch of new stuff coming, some of which hasn't been announced yet, some of which has been teased. I'm actually just pulling up the calendar here. So this is a weird week, and part of it is because we're kind of in the middle of transitioning to adding a bunch of these shows. And part of it is because Wednesday, we don't have any streams that are going to be happening. We're not doing any shows on Wednesday. Today, you got Weekly Patronage. The other new show that is starting up is on Thursdays. There's Community Q&A, and it's Sean and I are going to be doing a 2-hour stream from 11 to 1 Pacific time. And it's basically it's going to be a weekly show, but it's based on the show that we did. How many weeks ago was the Spectacular now? The last time that we did a big multi-day streaming event. We did a community Q&A, and it went over really well. And Sean is not only a lot of fun to hang out with, but also super knowledgeable because he answers all of the tickets. Although we've now got another ticket person, so he won't be doing all of the tickets. He now has some backup. Yay! And deserves it because Sean is awesome. So Sean and I are going to do a show for 2 hours where we're going to talk and answer questions, and literally a community Q&A. So you can join us on Thursdays from 11 to 1. And then the rest of this week kind of looks the same as normal. And then, just so you know, next week, as much as Weekly Patronage is going to be a weekly show, this show won't be happening next week, because next week is a holiday in both the United States and Canada. So we're going to be off on that Monday. So there will not be, you're going to have to do the patron challenges all by yourself. Sorry. But when we come back from holiday in 2 weeks, you will get, your weekly patronage will come back, and we'll be doing this every week. So yes, no streams on Wednesday of this week. We are supporting the creators who are not streaming on Wednesday because there's been issues on stream of a lot of really awful things happening with streamers using hate raids towards especially marginalized creators. And so we are supporting those creators who have been having issues on Twitch with awful racists, and trying to get better support for being able to have a safer place in chat so that people, like this chat that's going on right now, which is full of awesome people who are all supportive. That's what the chats should be like. And right now there's a lot of creators who don't have that, and so we are supporting them on Wednesday. But next week, those shows will all be back, and in 2 weeks, you'll get another weekly patronage. Keep an eye on our socials. that's usually the best way to keep up with when we are doing streams, when some streams are off. Or if you join our Discord at the beginning of the week, usually on Mondays in the morning, the full schedule for that week gets posted. And we post every week because there are often updates and changes. As for new shows beyond this, I know I teased this already, so I can say this, but soon, not this week, but very soon, there's going to be a new show starting up with one of our newest employees, V, who is known as the Crafting Muse. She and I are going to be doing a painting mini stream. We're going to be painting some of the creatures that show up in some of these adventures, possibly some of the newest creatures that are showing up. And so it's going to be a chance to learn about how to paint minis and learn about the creatures that are in the adventures that you're going through in the game. You will be finding out more about that soon. As the wonderful Jay says in chat, soon, TM. And there are other things coming that haven't been announced yet. And so stay tuned. But yes, there are more fun new shows coming. I will say that. There, was that vague enough? I hope that was vague enough. Okay. Back to questions from chat. Herc Work wants to know if Orkira ever met Dragonbait, would she consider him friend or snack? I mean, so Orkira, Penelope is the one who everybody's a friend no matter what. Orkira is cautious friendship. You are not a friend just because you haven't tried to kill her, which is kind of Penelope's deal. If we've met you and you haven't tried to kill us, you're Penelope's friend. But Orkira is an overall friendly person, likes meeting new people, likes helping new people. So considering Dragonbait is a pretty nice person and is also a helpful, wonderful person, then yeah, she would consider him a friend. Definitely there would be the language barrier because she is not familiar with speaking through smells. But I think it's, you know what, that is something that she would learn how to be able to communicate. They'd work on that, and she'd get better at learning how to communicate through smells. So she just needs to meet a Soriel. Frankly, I wish she spoke more languages, but that's just not her jam. That's an Alindra thing. Orkira, unfortunately, is not amazing at book learning. Let's put it that way. So yeah, learning new stuff like languages is difficult. All right. JS in the. Just JS in the? Yeah, sure. If I've pronounced that wrong, let me know. Hey, Lauren, D4 Champions when? I mean, I don't know. I hope so. It would be awesome. I would love to have the rest of the BFGs in the game. That'd be amazing. Get Harold in the game, and Harold and Deacon would have so much fun. That'd be amazing. I'd love it, but I don't know. We'll have to see. For now, the closest we come to any of the BFGs being in the game is some of the items that Orkira has, references them. But I would love that, but also then would Orkira's affiliation be BFGs or Heroes of the Plains? More questions. Sir Narvi. Oh, hi. How do you have your UI set to be able to see all champions' portraits without having to scroll? That's also a new feature that has come up. If you go to settings, you can do narrow bench boxes right there. And so for reference, when you don't have that clicked, that's when you get the wider boxes. All right, come on. Spread out a little bit. So yeah. If you like the wider boxes, which admittedly does make it a little bit easier if you're looking at specific pieces of gear, and it depends, of course, on your display and your display settings. But yeah, if you like the wider boxes so that everybody's got a little bit more room, you can go there, or you come up to settings and you go narrow those bench boxes, and then everybody kind of squishes in like they're on an airplane. And then you can, at least on my screen, it makes it a little easier to see everybody all in a row. The nice thing about that is, yeah, you do get to see all of the bench slots. You do, the familiars that are down here gets a little squished. It's a little bit, everybody, okay, don't use the armrests and everybody just gets squished in here, but it does help with getting that overview of everything going on. So I was really happy to see that update as well. It's one of those little quality of life improvements that it sounds simple and it sounds like it's not a big deal, but was probably way more difficult than it looks. And honestly, for me personally, I like having the narrower bench boxes because I like being able to see everybody all in a go. So I like it. I like it a lot. And let's go. Dunk for N. Question. I just did the split the party before the weekend. Hey, congratulations. That is not an easy thing to do. When do you recommend to start saving for the second core? That is a good question that I think is going to have a lot of different answers. I say right away. And here's why. Because I think people are going to have different suggestions and it's going to depend on your playstyle. Because I do a lot of set it and forget it play. I am not actively playing all the time. Having the cores so that I can do the Modron automation to quickly go through stuff is really useful for me. In fact, I've just realized I haven't done it for this party. I should do that. But it's really useful for me. So I have found it incredibly helpful to have Modron cores that are powered up enough so that we get to the point in where you can do the automation so they can do the resets, because especially for the patron stuff, I find it incredibly helpful. Now, if you're a more active player, or if you've got other priorities, you may not want to use those gems right now for the Modron core. You may want to use it for something else. You may want to be saving up for some other thing, or you may want to be grabbing gold chests in the game for gear and things like that. But personally, I feel like once you get that second party, getting that other Modron core is really useful. So let me get out of here. And yeah, I just realized we set things up and this was the only one that I didn't get Modron core set up for. I'll do that in a little bit. Let's answer some more questions. Oop, why is everybody pointing up? I just looked at the chat and everybody's got up arrows. Let's scroll up. Oh, Garwar is saying don't save, just do split the party too. So there you go. Like that's where you're gonna get, and Garwar knows their stuff. I would also trust Garwar. So if Garwar says something, I totally trust them. But I think if you end up dropping the gems, it'll be okay. Sorry to disagree with Garwar. All right. Well, while everybody is pointing up at Garwar in chat, I'm going to take a drink. Speaking of Garwar, I got a bunch of Garwar questions in chat. Garwar asks, does the stream mean there's no more Reddit Q&A since it's usually at that date time? So we're still doing the Reddit Q&A. Sean is still doing that. The Reddit Q&A happens right before it. So Sean is going to be doing like 3 hours in a row of hardcore Q&A because Sean is awesome. And you should always thank Sean because Sean is amazing. But yeah, Sean is still going to do the Reddit Q&A. That happens Thursdays from 10 to 11. And then at 11, he'll come on the stream and answer more questions. We're doing both because there are a lot of our users and fans who prefer streams versus the Reddit Q&A. So they may want to be able to go and ask their questions in the Reddit. There are some that are going to be more comfortable coming here to the stream and having that extra hour of another place that people can get their questions answered, or things addressed is really helpful. We try to make as much available as possible. We'll see. It might be that there's so much overlap that only the stream is needed, but as long as people are asking questions on the Reddit, the goal is to keep doing a weekly Q&A there. So if you are a fan of one over the other, they're both happening. Porque no los dos. Why not both? Garwar also said something about dragon bait that I'm tempted not to say, but you know what? I'm a fair host, so I will say what Garwar said, which is, why doesn't dragon bait enter a popularity contest? Because he's a sorriel loser. Moving on. Preceptor Teeth. Preceptor Teeth. That's an amazing username. That is also kind of creepy, but is amazing. Aw, I love it. Is there a link somewhere that highlights bios of the CNE staff and frequent streamers in this channel? I'm curious about what the different folks do at CNE and perhaps even learn a little more about the non-employee streamers. That is an excellent question. I have half an answer for you. So CNE has on their website, there is a place you can go that talks about all of the employees, that has little bios. There's a staff page. It's a half answer because at the moment that page hasn't been updated in a while. It is being updated. I know for a fact, because we have hired on a bunch of new people in the last couple of months, our staff page is being updated. So I'm not going to link it immediately. Although if you just go to our webpage, you can see the staff. But I would suggest, at least for CNE employees, give us a little bit more time because there is updating happening to that page. We have a lot of people to be added, and that will get updated. As far as our wonderful non-employees who do streaming on this channel, I don't think there is a place, but that is a really good suggestion. And let me take that suggestion and stick it in the back of my brain and talk to a bunch of people and see what we can do. Because, yeah, as we add more people and more shows, and some of the people that are on shows of ours are not CNE employees. They're wonderful people who we've brought in because of their expertise or because they are awesome, usually a little bit of both. Yeah, so Martin just put into the chat the link to the staff page. It is not up to date. It is awesome. It is not up to date. And I'm not just saying that because it doesn't include me yet. It doesn't include a lot of awesome people who need to be updated, but it is. And then, yeah, let me mull over that because I think Garward, Mars, and B-Dave, and a lot of those people have amazing social media presences, and we do try to link out to their social media or to web pages or whatever when their streams are on. For example, Champion Psychology, for Dr. B, we have links for, I think it's Dr. B's Twitter, and then also for Take This. But yeah, there may be other things that we can do. We'll let you know when our staff page is updated. It will at least be, I think it'll probably be announced places. Probably. More questions. Let's see. Sickmook. Hey, new here and to the game. Welcome. This is awesome that we've got all these new people coming in. So what is the thing running around in the middle? The thing running... Okay, so... Oh, hi. We probably have new people coming in. Hi, new people. I'm going to answer some questions for all these wonderful new people. If you are new to the show, this is a new show. Welcome. Weekly patronage. We're going to be going through patron challenges on Mondays from 12 to 2 Pacific, hanging out, answering questions in chat, making sure that we finish all of the patron challenges, or a lot. Probably not all, because, questions. We were just asked about the thing rolling around in the middle. I'm going to assume you mean this gorgeous flum. So, I'm going to answer a bunch of different questions. This specifically is a Rainbow Flumph. It was a familiar that was available a couple weeks ago, I think at this point. That was a charity familiar. You could buy this familiar, and there was a donation to charity, specifically to the Lambert House, which is a wonderful organization here in Seattle that gives support and training and advice to LGBTQIA plus youth who may need help and are looking for resources and looking for support, especially if they're in difficult situations. So that was that specific familiar. And Prism is awesome and rainbow colored and farts rainbows. What they are doing here in the middle of the screen is you can set up familiars to actually activate your ultimates. So what Prism is doing is kind of going back and forth, and every once in a while will activate an ultimate. You can also set up familiars to activate specific ultimates. So if you're like, I just want Prism to come over here and make sure that whenever Deacon can yell about doom, Deacon will yell about doom, and then your charity familiar will just kind of hang out. So yeah, that's what Prism is doing. I have enough familiars. I've bought a bunch and unlocked enough and gotten enough so that this is one of the first things I tend to do when I start up a variant or an adventure is I put a full team out here as well as one on the alt bar, because having a full team of all 6 means not only do you just get to admire all of them, but they will also get any of the distractions that come through, which is also why you probably don't see any distractions, because they are just getting slaughtered. And then one on the bar, and then any of the champions that I have rolling in this formation, so that I can set it and then come turn to the chat and say, hey, hi chat. Let's see. Science Guy wants to know, why is Dragon Bait a tank and not a dinosaur sorcerer? I mean, that's an excellent question. That is, I mean, why not both? Porque no los dos. I mean, I appreciate the joke. The honest answer is because that's what Dragon Bait is in the books. But yeah, I mean, I kind of now want to make either a Sario or a Dragonborn sorcerer just so that I can call them that. Yeah, a Dino sorcerer. Second the First wants to know, is this a setting speeding up the game, or is this a fast forward replay? I kind of like the idea of a fast forward replay in this, but what is actually going on is I have a speed potion, a large potion of speed, that is speeding this up. There's also champions that help with speed that you can put into the game. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can get the game sped up. I don't have it going super fast. I just have the one potion. But you can stack potions and get all sorts of speed champions in there. I believe if someone puts into chat, what is the command? I think it's ! Go fast? Is that it, or is it speed? Oh, it's speed. We have a wonderful clip of Mars very concisely explaining all of the different ways that you can get your game to go fast, because there's actually quite a few different ways. But for me right now, I just have a large potion of speed, which helps. More questions. We have a request to pass along to the devs. Selin Dizrama wants to know, can you pass a request along to the devs, a second character with the same tags as Arkin with tank DPS, whose stats let them do patrons that Arkin is unable to? I will pass that along, but I'm going to say that, I mean, it's really going to depend on what champions are coming out. I don't think there's going to be Arkin is his own thing. But it wouldn't surprise me if one of the things that the devs are concerned about is making sure that we get enough champions who are good for a variety of patrons. Some of that is dependent on the character. I mean, for example, I'll use Orkira again, because why not? She's my baby. Orkira's stats, I gave the team her stats when they were putting her into the game. And this was months ago, long before I joined CNE. So I just gave the most recent stats that I had for her. She does not have a high intelligence. Her intelligence is an 8. And that's just been a thing in her character. It's actually an important part of her as a character, is that she is very wise, and she is, she actually used to have lower stats, but that's a different story. She's very wise, she is very perceptive, but she is not necessarily very smart. She's the person who can see things, but doesn't exactly know what they mean. And that 8 is actually kind of important for her character. That does mean that she cannot do all of the patrons. She can't do Strahd, because Strahd requires intelligence of 13 at least. It's probably also, ironically, a good thing that she does not do Strahd patrons, because she would not work for Strahd. So some of what champions can do what patrons does depend on their stats, and when you have stats that come from the content creator, there's going to be some of that. Like, I wouldn't have minded if they changed around some of her other stats that are less important to her as a character, because, you know, if they wanted her to be available for certain patrons or others. But I would have said, no, the wisdom has to be high and the intelligence has to be low, because those are really quintessential to who she is. So, you know, the devs have to balance out a lot of things. But yeah, it sounds like what you want is Arkin, but able to do some of the challenges that he can't. But we'll see. There might be other patrons or other champions that are coming out that can fill that role. I love seeing this giant body in the background. That is super cool. All right, back to questions. Actually, I just saw something from chat that I'll answer right now, even though the wonderful Martin is continuing to grab questions from chat as we have 20 minutes left. Oh, my Modron automation just went. Joe Malone wants to know, do you find it harder to play a character much smarter than you, or one much less smart? Well, so here's the thing. I don't know how smart I really am. I think smart, a high intelligence character can be a challenge. I know it would be a challenge for me, not because, like, I don't think I'm super smart, but I think I'm okay. I also know I am not a person who is really good at some of the D&D things that come along with a high intelligence character, like puzzles. Puzzles are not my jam. I think it can be a challenge to play a character with one of the either a wisdom or a charisma is another one that some people they're afraid to play charismatic characters like bards because they're afraid that they will then have to be charismatic in game. And here's what I would say. When you play a high strength character and want to do something strength related, no one expects you to then go grab a giant maul and actually break down a door. When you are playing a dexterous rogue and want to steal something, no one expects you, as you the person, to actually get up and sneak around and steal something. That's what the roles are for. So don't be afraid to play a character that does a thing that you can't do, because you don't have to do it at the table. That's what rolling the dice is for. It's fun when you can. It's fun when you get to pretend to be charismatic and be over the top with things, or to be really persuasive, or to be really perceptive, or really intelligent. It's fun to pretend that, but these are supposed to be like superhuman, superhero, super characters, and that's what the dice is for. So don't be afraid to give it a try and to have fun with those characters. And then, just admit, hey, I'm not grabbing this as quickly as my character would. My character is really intelligent. Can I roll something? Can I roll an intelligence check of some sort, your DM will help you out with that. Most good DMs will. Because, as I said, no one expects you as the strength character to get up and bench press stuff. But yes, I do. There are some things that I find more challenging to play than others because I find them just not in my wheelhouse. And in a strange way, I do find Orkira easier to play because the things I struggle with, like puzzles, she struggles with too. Let's see. Lucy LRA wants to know, I was sad to see the last developer insights still didn't have captions. Now that you've had them for a while, will they be spreading onto other shows soon? I am working on getting captions on all of our shows. They're probably going to look different for every show because we have not just a lot of shows, but we have a lot of people producing their own shows and a lot of people who have different ways of doing them. None are better or worse than the others. I think the important part is to just have the captions. For me, I like using the Google captions because that's what I've gravitated towards as the way that I find the easiest that gets me the best captions. I know Garwar uses Web Captioner, which is awesome, and I like the way that it shows up. I like that it has the font. I've just lost the name of that font. That is the specific kind of font that's easier to read. I've lost the name of that font, but you know what I mean. It's thank you, Garwar. I just saw it in chat. Open Dyslexic. It's got the Open Dyslexic font, which is really nice. But some streams, it's a little harder to set that up than others. So we're working on it. We absolutely are. Because we haven't found a way to do it through the Twitch overlay. That's why we haven't been able to do it across the board. But it is being worked on. Absolutely. Oh yeah, and since I'm looking at chat right now, I see Diminutive say that's why I'm min-maxing Munchkin. I'm a min-maxing Munchkin. I'm perfect and struggle with nothing. Well, that is actually why I like min-maxing as well, so that I have those things that I'm awesome at, and then the couple things that I'm bad at. Because having the things that you're not good at, as a D&D character, they're good for your character because that gives you foibles and foils and things you're not good at, but it also gives places for other characters in the party, places to shine. I don't want to be good at everything because that's kind of boring for everybody involved. But it's fun to not be good at intelligence and intelligence stats and the things that are involved there, not just because it gives me something to role play off of, but now it gives Jen playing Alindra a place to shine, as that's what she's good at. And so depending on the challenge in a game, it's good to throw it at her. Same with idle champions. Like, it's really good that you can't use every champion in every situation for everything, because it gives different champions in your roster a chance to shine. I mean, as much as I would love to use Orkira everywhere, all of these other champions have really useful skill sets that would work better in a lot of different situations. And so it's nice to have that variety is what I'm saying. Variety is good. Porque no los dos. I think I've said that three times now, and I'm okay with that. All right, we got 15 minutes left. I'm going to go back to the questions in just a minute, and thank you to Martin and Ryan for grabbing those. I really appreciate it. But we're going to come back here, and I want to check in on things, because I'm going to be honest with you. In 15 minutes, this stream is going to end. I know, that's sad. But, it'll be time for all of us to go have snacks and a nap. And I'm going to go work on some other stuff, and I'm going to leave the game running in the background, finishing out this stuff. So I want to make sure that it's going to do what I want it to do. So let's check in on a few things. So currently we're working on Mert. This is my get Minsk challenge done. We've already done one of the 2 resets we need to do. Let's see. We're still working on Arkin, Terrell, and Makos, so you can see we're not quite there yet. So yeah, it looks like this is going pretty well. We want to at least let this reset one more time. And yeah. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to add a potion of speed to these resets. Let's give you... I mean, I got a lot. Let's add a large potion of speed. Yeah, 25. There we go. Help get this going. Let's check on this merch. Yeah, the snack pack. I'm actually, right after this, I'm going to go have lunch. I'm probably going to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That sounds really good. But first, Mert. All right, so we got this other Mert going. This Mert is... this is the one that we're trying to get to, I believe it was 400? Yep, complete area 400 or higher in any Mert free play. So, I'm actually not going to set up a Modron automation for this one, because I'm going to try to get them just going as far as possible. And I will check in on them in a little while and see how they're doing. And if they've reached 400 or later, great, and I'll set something else up. And if not, if for some reason I've hit a wall, they should. This is not an ideal formation, and my Zorbu isn't the most amazingly geared. But I've got enough gear and favor that I think they're gonna break 400. So we're gonna leave them alone, and let's go check on my Vajra. Let's go check on Oops All Tanks plus a Bard. Oops All Tanks. There we go. All right, Oops All Tanks. So this is Vajra. Let's see. Oh, we've already got a bunch of stuff done. We got the ultimates. We got gems. Let's see. We're doing pretty well here. Yeah, we still got a while to go with Faye. Oh, we got a lot of bosses to kill. So, I mean, we're probably going to let this run for a little while longer, and then eventually, once Makos and Tyrell are available again, once I finish those Mert challenges that I need the two of them for, I will port them on over and I'll create a new formation. Because my guess is once we reset this over 250, see, we got Ayla's already ready to do this. So yeah, let's do a reset at like 251, just so we can get Oops All Tanks kind of done. Let's go ahead and just make sure I got this saved somewhere. We're going to come over here. We're going to make sure. I always like to double check. I know it's usually smart enough to do this, but I like to double check. We're going to double check. I got all specializations. We're going to go 251. Let's also, we'll do the medium potion of speed to get them going. So there we go. Just kind of checking in, making sure that all three of these are chugging along and will continue to chug along. And then I'm going to switch back to this Mert, because this is the Mert this Mert versus the other Mert. This is the one that I do want to keep a closer eye on, because I'm just letting it run until hopefully it gets over 400. So at this point, for me personally, I would step away. It would be running in the background while I do other things. And maybe in like an hour, think about coming back and taking a look at stuff and checking in on all of these and seeing how things are going. But now that we got that set up, I got a couple more minutes. Let's grab some more questions from chat. Oh, although I did just see this as I was coming over to the side. Sellen's Drama wants to know, it is not that I want to use Arkin everywhere. I find his tags very useful for doing a variety of patron challenges. I mean, yeah, he is in the unique position of being a tank who is also, he's got a lot of really good tags. That is super true. I mean, we'll see. It depends on the champions that come out. Not every champion is going to be that multi-talented, let me say. Which is hard for me to say, because Arkin, the Cruel. All right, questions. Captain Hawsey, new show. What's this one about? Hey, welcome. So yes, this is a new show. Those that have now been here for almost 2 hours have heard me do this spiel, but if you are new, then welcome. This is a new show and where I'm going to be hanging out with chat. We're going to be doing the weekly patron challenges that come live every Monday at noon Pacific. We won't get through everything because, well, I'll be chatting with chat, answering questions, talking about different things going on. But this will be a new show every Monday just to hang out and at least get a good start on the patron challenges. There are a lot of them. As I said, there are people out there who are going to be able to finish them way faster than I will, especially if they're not going to be answering questions from chat at the same time. Our goal in this is to answer some questions about the patron challenges, offer some suggestions on getting through them, and hang out a little bit while we actually get a good jump on these challenges. So welcome. We are going to be every Monday from 12 to 2 Pacific, except for next week. That's right. We're starting a new show and then immediately going on hiatus. That's how we like to do it. Sorry, it was weird timing. But next week is a holiday in both the United States and Canada. It is Labor Day. Took me a second. But there will be a holiday, so we are closed next week. So there won't be any streams next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. That's right. And then we'll be on a roll. Let's see. Lightning 11 Computer wants to know, what is the neatest D&D character you've played? Neatest? Okay, so if you mean clean and tidy, I don't know if I've ever had like a clean and tidy character. Oh, that's an interesting question. I haven't played them in a while. I played for a one-shot a Chronomancy wizard. They were in a one-shot that actually got run on the Rock Punch ATL channel with all the D4 crew. That wizard, she's not fastidious, but she did have prestidigitation, and she was a researcher. And while she didn't mind getting dirty, she was always very keen on keeping clean. If by neatest you mean the most fun. Although I liked answering just the neatest. Yep, I'm being told that there is an update that Lightning 11 Computer means the coolest. That's kind of what I figured you meant, but I liked answering the other way. Okay, coolest. If by cool, I'm gonna do this again. Okay, I'll answer this in two different ways. If by cool you mean like suave, like a cool cat, like charismatic or very, very epic, that kind of character, just like, oh, that's really cool. What is the coolest character that I've played? I had a monk. I had an Aarakocra monk who was very soft-spoken, who was just the fastest thing. Because monks and Aarakocra. And all it took was moving at like 120 feet around, and everybody would go, wait, what? As far as some of my favorites, some of the all right, this character is cool. Orkira is the easy answer. If I'm forced to pick not Orkira, I have a kobold who is a rogue, not a rogue, I'm sorry, a monk, an astral arms monk. So they get the arms that come out 10 feet from them, who basically just likes to run into danger and punch things in the face, because there's this tiny little, 2-foot-nothing kobold with these massive 10-foot long arms. So even though they're tiny, they can still punch things. And they run and they punch in the face! And they're just so much fun. They are not a cool cat, but they're super cool to play. They're a lot of fun. Find yourself a character that has a thing that they do really well and just lean into it. And Idovan likes to punch people in the face. Yes, I would say he is armed. Exactly. And on that pun, I think we're going to end this week of Weekly Patronage. Thank you for showing up to my inaugural episode of this show. If you do have any suggestions or questions for ways that we can make the show better, or if you just want to give feedback, come to any of the wonderful places on social media that you can find Idle Champions. We are on all of your standard social media. Also, come to our Discord or come to the Reddit and let me know. Let me know how you like that. Every week we'll be doing this except for next week because holiday. So thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you for all of the questions. Thank you for bearing with me as I tried to ask a few questions that I didn't know the answer to, or finding out more information about ones that I needed to find out more. Thank you to Martin and Ryan for being amazing moderators and helping to produce the show. Thank you to Wizards of the Coast for an amazing D&D game that we get to make this game off of. And as always, we'll see you next encounter.